In Section F of the NRCS-CPA-52, resource concerns and existing benchmark conditions of the land are documented. There are headings for soil, water, air, plants, animals, energy concerns, and human and social considerations. Notice how at the top of Section F in the NRCS-CPA-52, it states, see FOTG Section 3, Resource Planning Criteria for Guidance. That's because the Field Office Technical Guide, or FOTG, for each state contains the resource planning criteria for resource concerns. Information and format varies from state to state under Section 3, so the planning criteria may appear different depending on the state you're looking at. In this example, we'll open the national version for resource concerns and planning criteria for conservation planning. In the case of the National Resource Concerns and Planning Criteria, there are 7 columns across the top with in-depth descriptions. Once again, keep in mind that states have modified the national planning criteria to meet the requirements, so your state's version in the Field Office Technical Guide, FOTG, may vary in appearance. Well, let's go to the next page and work our way across to see an example for soil erosion and how the information in the columns relate to one another. Column 1 has the resource concern and cause. In the example pictured, soil erosion is the resource concern and sheet, rill, and wind erosion is a cause. In column 2, we have a description for the concern. Column 3 contains the land use. In our example, we're looking at crop. The other choices could be developed land, farmsteads, pasture, etc. Note the asterisk following crop. This means that an assessment is required. We'll see how this plays out in a moment. Be sure to locate the appropriate row for the land use before moving on to columns 4 through 7. Column 4 is the resource concern component. Examples shown are sheet and rill and wind associated with the various land uses from column 3. Let's assume for our purposes that sheet and rill are the component for the crop land use. In column 5, screening level criteria are defined when appropriate to identify sites with conditions that have little or no probability of needing additional treatment to address the specific resource concern. If the site meets the screening level criteria, then no other assessment is needed to document that planning criteria are met on this site. But what if the permanent ground cover is greater than 90% and the slope is also greater than 10%? Because the entire screening criteria statement is not true, you need to look at column 6 assessment level and column 7 for the assessment tool or tools. Moving to column 6, the basic assessment level criteria are used when a site does not meet screening level criteria or when no screening level criteria are defined. Taking a look at the basic assessment level for the land use of crop and component sheet and rill, the water erosion rate must be less than or equal to T. How does one know if this is the case? Well, you need to consult the assessment tool or tools in column 7 to find out. The final column, Assessment Tools, contains a description of assessment tools for processes that are used for the basic assessment level back in column 6. In this example, Russell 2 is the assessment tool. Note that assessment levels are also used when formulating and evaluating alternatives in the NRCS-CPA-52. A description of measurement assessment tools can be found in the National Planning Procedures Handbook and the FOTG, the Field Office Technical Guide.